John Reeves. What is up, people? How are we freaking doing today? Guys, it has been so long since I've done a one-word podcast. I'm very excited, very nervous. I throw up a little bit. I might puke. I don't know. Let's see what happens. B, how you freaking doing? Early start? Yes. So normally I'll do my podcast like way earlier in the day. And then I don't know if I'll be streaming tonight or not, but we definitely are doing one now. We're so streaming. Gaming Junkie, how you freaking doing? Freaking Shadow Odin, how are y'all doing? T Gunna Gaming in the house, guys. Freaking royalty is here. Gunna, how are you doing, brother? How's the new baby? Freaking B, Shadow Odin, Boba's baby mama dropping them biddies. Also, really quick, before we get into the one-word podcast, audio is low, can't hear you. Hello! Ah! Check. Is anybody else having some audio issues? Can y'all hear me? Am I loud enough? But yeah, man, after I get back from basketball, I will hop on Rogue if you're down. Yes! We shall see. I would definitely love that, dude. That'd be awesome. Can y'all hear me okay? I can hear you good. Cool. Gunna, it might be like one of those gotta refresh the page type things. But, guys, buckle your freaking seatbelts. We got a good one. I got a good one today. I swear it's going to be a good one. So, one word podcast, for those of y'all that don't know, is we take a word, and today's word is beginnings, and then we, like, expand on that. So, we're going to talk about, like, what beginnings mean for me, and also just, like, about beginning. Because, like, honestly, I know that sounds like such a basic word, beginnings, and it sounds very self-explanatory, but I swear there's so much more to it than you guys even know. And, yeah, we're going to freaking get into it. So, to start them off, this is one word podcast, beginnings. My story with beginning, I have started a lot of things in my life. Honestly, we all start somewhere. If it's starting our first day of school, our first stream. Damn, my volume is all the way up. Dang it, Gunna! Ah! I'm so sorry. It's like peaking on my end. I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry, Gunna. But, so like everybody's got a beginning. And another word for beginning is genesis. We've all got a genesis. But either way, my story with beginnings, I've started bands. I've started a stream. I've started a podcast. And the greatest advice that I've ever had, right before I started a business, one of my friends, Gunna with a freaking sub! Thank you! Phil Collins, Genesis, the band. I mean, come on. We all know. We all know about Genesis. But yes, so I had a mentor. Let's just call him a mentor. Tony, how you freaking doing, brother? I had a mentor whenever I was younger. I was starting a company. I had a lot of ideas. I'm like a very idea-driven person. I'm like, that sounds really cool. Let's do that. One of those people. And a mentor of mine gave me advice. He said, like 90% of all companies fail before they even start because they overplan. They'll overthink. They'll overanalyze things. And they don't even get started. They fail before they even begin to even know if they could fail or not because they overanalyze stuff. So my first suggestions with beginnings is to actually freaking start, okay? Like the planning phase is a very important thing, but like, would you be streaming right now if you just stuck there and you were like, well, this could go wrong? What if I don't get a lot of viewers? What if I don't get a lot of bits? What if it doesn't pay for itself? What if I don't have this? What if my quality's not that good? What if this isn't that great? My biggest advice before we even get into actually what we're talking about today is if you've got an idea, get out of the planning phase. Know that there's a planning phase and know that there's a beginning phase, and you have to go from one to the other to even freaking make that worth your while, or you're just sitting around with your thumbs twiddling them. Be hell yeah, thank you. Tony, my compliment to you, good sir, is that I freaking love your dedication, and exactly like this podcast is about beginnings. I like the fact that you wanted to do a music stream and you freaking did it, man. That's my compliment to you, and for me to say that, I'm very proud of you, dude. Very proud of you. But yeah, so for me personally, I had that happen. early on in my life, I had a guy tell me that, and he's a very successful business person. He was like, I have a lot of people that want to start companies, but they don't actually end up getting off the ground because they never start. They just stay in the beginning, the planning phase, and they don't really get out of that. Wait, do you upload all your streams to your Twitch channel? I do. So with the podcast, what I'll be doing after this is editing it, clipping out little parts like this, and then I'll be putting them on YouTube. So it's on YouTube as well too. And I'll post a link to that. I'll send you guys a link. And then it actually will have all of my show notes. So I've got like paragraphs of show notes, and I'll have all that under the description as well. One thing we like to do with a one-word podcast is start off with a little bit of a joke. So, okay, I'll go watch that. Heck yes, B. Thank you for coming by in the first place, man. But we always started off with a joke. So we always look up the word that we're talking about. Luna! We always look up the word we're talking about and get an actual freaking dictionary, what this word means, and then we get the Urban Dictionary, and that's my favorite. So here we go. We got a real gem with this one. The Urban Dictionary defines beginning as the start of something, not to be confused with beginnings, a human's reproductive organs, a vagina or a penis. The beginning of all life happens here. And then in quotations, if you wanted to use it in a sentence, it says, her skirt was so short you could see her beginnings. Boom! Freaking loved it, dude. Freaking loved it. Bob, how you freaking doing, brother? Anytime you have my... Dude, thank you, B, man. That seriously means a ton to me, dude. Thank you so much. So there's always like, sometimes there's a little gem in the Urban Dictionary, and I feel like on beginnings we got one, because I've never called a person's downstairs mix-up their beginnings. I've never done that. So like, to know that that's a word that you could use, niche. Another word for beginning is genesis, the origin or mode of formation of something. So to mold something, to start something. Was helping Booty Slayer with the overlay. That's why I'm like, dude, heck yeah, though. Thank you. You don't have to apologize. Thank you for even being here, brother. Luda. And then also we're going to do a lot of quotes on beginnings, stuff like that. So the first step towards getting somewhere is deciding you're not going to stay where you are. JP freaking Morgan from Morgan & Morgan said that. For me, like I said, I started a band. And my beginnings with my band, it started, I did a lot of like singer-songwriter stuff, and I was in a lot of like, I was in a ton of bands in high school. They would kind of like start up, peter out, start up, peter out. And me and my brother were pretty consistent in like playing music, but my friends and the other people that were in the band always crapped out. It was more of like, let's get together and drink and party, than like, let's get together and actually make a band. And me and my brother were like really into music. And so, like, we would go from doing, like, let's play a little house show, and we really wanted to break out into the Nashville scene. Never really ended up getting to be able to play these shows because we were in high school, and I kind of had, like, this almost small-town mentality. Like, I was stuck. Everybody that I was around had this, like, same freaking mentality of, like, you know, we're probably not going to be able to do that. Shadows, how you freaking doing? And, so everybody kind of had that mentality of like, we're probably not going to make it out of, you know, like the small town that we're in. We wouldn't be able to play a big show in Nashville, wouldn't be able to do all these things. And so everybody just kind of kept petering out. I had all these lyrics, and I was just a lyricist at the time, like a vocalist. I never played guitar or anything like that. And I called my uncle. He is a drummer. He's a professional drummer, and I really look up to him. And I was like, hey man, you know, I'm going through like band member after band member. Everybody's just would rather get drunk or stoned or something like that instead of playing music, instead of really working on this. And this is like what I want to do with my life. Like, I want to be a professional musician. I need your guidance. Like, tell me, what can I do? And he was like, dude, you need to stop worrying about what other people are doing and just do it yourself. He was like, what are you worried about? Like, what are you waiting on? I was like, I just want to write music. And he was like, do it. He was like, why don't you know how to play guitar? I was like, I guess I've just never learned, you know? And at this time, I think I was like 15 or something like that. So it was kind of late in the game for me to pick up guitar and just be like good at it. But it's never too late to really do something that you want to do. Freaking Booty Slayer, how you doing? But so like, I took his advice. I was like, you know what? I'm going to freaking do that. So I started playing guitar. I staggered through it. It wasn't like I picked up guitar and then I was just good at it. I sucked at guitar for solid months. It was dead note after dead note, shitty song after shitty song, trying to learn how to do covers and like horribly failing. And like I had a girlfriend at the time, her ears had to have been bleeding. Like anytime she ever come over to my house, I wouldn't really pay attention. I'm just over here like doop 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 bloop 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 bloop. It was horrible, dude. Such bad guitar playing, but like after really, really, really trying and practicing and just being obsessed like I get with things, I eventually got good enough to where I could write lyrics to the stuff that I was playing on guitar. And then from that little thing, my uncle's conversation with me turned into me putting that on, at the time, MySpace. So freaking shout out to MySpace. But I uploaded like all this music to MySpace, and very horrible quality. But I had a couple of people that listened to the music and they were like, dude, I love what you're doing. I love this style. They were like, I'd love to get a band together. Can we play some music sometime? Was pretty much how they proposed it to me. Not knowing that I'd only been playing guitar for about like 4 or 5 months tops. Like I hadn't been playing guitar for long at all. But I'm like writing these like grunge thrash metal songs. It's almost like if Nirvana and Metallica had a baby with Trivium or something. Because I wasn't good enough to play like the songs that I wanted to, but like I could scream and stuff. So it was weird. It was like a weird blend of music. The OG Twitter, exactly. So like I started doing these, put the songs up, had some people come out, had a lead guitarist that had been playing guitar since he was like birthed. He came out shredding. This dude saw some stuff in me and was like, hey, I really want to put together a band with you. Me and him put together a band. Had some drummers that were way better than I even knew come out, bass players. I was rhythm guitar, he was lead guitar, and we just freaking went for it, man. And really obsessively played music. Like we were practicing every single day, and then still in that small town mindset. It was one of those things where we were like, you know, I don't know that we'll be able to get shows booked. I don't know that we'll be able to do shows in Nashville and stuff. And for some reason, it just stopped clicking in my head. Like the word I can't do this just left. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm going to freaking message everybody. So I got on like MySpace back again. Freaking went off, dude. I submitted everybody that I knew. I was like, go like my band page. Go like my band page. So like everybody's going and friending my bands. At the time, I had like 8,000 friends on there or something. So like had like a crap load of people on there, a lot of people listening to my music, and apparently a lot of them were deaf too, because like my music at the time was horrible and nobody called me on it. Nobody was like, dude, you suck. Everybody was like, yeah, this is John's band. So like we had a lot of people listening. We had a lot of people like following. We had like the ear of a lot of people. So I just started freaking emailing everybody. I was like, venues in Nashville, freaking Battle of the Bands, anything we could do. And I just went for it, man. It brings us back to beginnings. You have to freaking not be afraid to get turned down. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If it's with music, if it's with streaming, like if nobody was in here right now, I'd still be talking. I wouldn't be as happy because like I love seeing y'all's faces, but like I'd still be doing this just because like this is something that I really want to do. And the fact that y'all are in here hanging out is even freaking, it's like, it's like icing on the cake. But we're making that damn cake. We're making the cake. And that's how I think you should look at almost everything with life. For instance, one of my, like a newer streamer that I met is wanting to start up a different style of streaming. I really support the idea. So today I was just messaging her. I was like, hey, what do you need to start this up? Let's freaking make it happen. And yeah, so hopefully she starts that up. Either way, we're going to go into another one. It says, be something no one thought you could be. And for me, with the music, that was a big thing. Like, legit, I lived in a very small town. And nobody really thought, like, hey, John could be a singer. He could be touring. He could be playing shows. Nobody really thought that that was something that you could do at the time. So I really kind of had to break through that little can't do attitude. And freaking started doing it, man. Yeah. Here we go. Tips on starting a business as it relates to anything. Tip number 1, recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. So for me, I felt like I was a really good vocalist, naive as that was of me to think. At the time, I realize now I was horrible back then, but I really thought I could do it. So like I recognized that as my strength, and my weakness was the guitar side. So what did we end up doing? I freaking went out, found another guitarist that was a way better guitarist, and he helped me write better songs. He helped me better my craft. And from then, and I knew I had like a little bit of like just charisma, and I was like, not gonna let anything stop me. So those were my strengths. It says here, every small business owner has a certain skill, ability, knowledge, and experience that gives them the edge when it comes time to building up a business and start operating it. However, no small business owner is so adept that they can be an expert in every single process related to developing a new company. Well, you have to wear a lot of different hats, especially during a business's early stage. Don't plan too much of a burden. Don't place too much of a burden on yourself for too long, or expect yourself to dive into a highly complicated task without prior training. Develop a strong understanding of your skills and your weaknesses so that you know where to best focus your attention. So like the way that I would say, like, to relate that back into something like in as far as streaming goes, I mean, everybody doesn't realize, well, not everybody, anybody that's in here that's a streamer, most of y'all do realize that streaming's not just what you're seeing right now. Streaming's a lot of like behind the scenes. If you want to be a successful streamer, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you need to do. And not everybody's good at that. Like for me, I suck at making layouts. Let's go through a run through really quick, shall we? This is my live scene. Horrible podcast. It's pretty much the same thing, but horrible freaking. This is my BRB screen. Just chatting. See what I'm talking about? I'm not great at overlays. That's one weakness that I have that I know that I have. I'm going to start streaming, so I'll see you later. Booty Slayer, peace. Sam, Bob, help me through it all. So see, like, yes, dude, Bob is freaking genius, man. I freaking love that kid. He is awesome. But that's one thing you've really got to understand. Like, that's something I'm not good at doing. Like, I don't know, maybe a lot of people wouldn't be comfortable with doing like a just chatting. For me, honestly, too, I'm not that comfortable with doing it either. I just force myself to do it. Like, I'm gonna do it. And I might throw up beforehand or something, or I might have a mini panic attack while I'm doing it, but like, I'll do it. So there's strengths and weaknesses that you have to recognize in yourself. For me, it's the creative side of like graphic design. I suck at it. I'm not good. I've tried it. I've really tried it. But I suck at graphic design. I'm not a visual artist. I'm a like audio. And yeah, so I recognize that. The second is start with a simple business plan and grow it as needed. You are support though. Don't worry. You got our support though. Don't worry. Dude, there you go. Thank you. So see, like, I'm serious, man. My freaking screens are not good. But like, and that's what I was telling one of my friends today. I was like, you know, they were saying like, I feel like I need an overlay. And I was like, that necessarily doesn't have to be the main thing. Like, I'd say an overlay is important, but not as important as your content. So there's that. Start a business. Start with a simple business plan and grow it as needed. One of the first things that you'll need to do as a small business owner is develop a business plan. It's vital that you develop the essential document to steer the future word and hold yourself accountable. But it's also important not to go too in depth during the early stages of developing a concept. Pretty much exactly what I said at the starting of it. Like, you do need to have that planning phase and even write it down. Like, for me, I'm a very visual person. I'm a very visual person whenever it comes to my goals. So for me, I don't know if y'all can see this good. It says Feb Goals 2021. And I have like list. There's work goals that I have, there's streaming goals that I have, there's greasy gamer goals that I have, there are live it goals for the company or like the community that we've got. So I'm a very visual person. I do like to plan. So like, don't let that first statement that I said fool y'all. I'm a very planning person, but you cannot let yourself get stuck in the planning phase. And I'm very aware that like I can be like that because I'm very overcritical, very I don't know, anxious person, and I'm a very hard critic on myself. But I know that that is the case, and I know that I want to do these things. So, for instance, the podcast today, like, almost didn't happen. I almost overplanned it. And then I was like, you know what? Hell no. We're doing this. We're gonna begin again. So, start with a simple business plan, and that even goes with your streaming. Like, for a lot of streamers, if you're going for affiliate, like if you're pushing for affiliate, or if you know you want to be a streamer. For me, whenever I started my streaming career, I knew, like, I looked up, I YouTubed everything. I was like, how to be a successful streamer on Twitch. One of my friends told me that you had to first become an affiliate before you could, like, do stuff. I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that you had to be an affiliate before you could do certain things. And I didn't know that it meant you had to be an affiliate before you could make money on Twitch. I just knew that you needed to be an affiliate before you did something. So I was like, all right, let's find out how to do that. I Googled, I YouTube searched, and I found this one video that said, like, it broke down the 3 goals, or it might have been 4 goals for how you become an affiliate. It was like stream for a certain amount of hours, for a certain amount of days, have 50 followers, and also have an average of 3 viewers. So I looked up that, and then the guy messed up, though. The dude messed up. He was like, here's a 30-day plan for how to become an affiliate. He was like, if you're crazy, you can knock this out ideally in 7 days, but you'd really have to be going for it. And I was like, 7 days to affiliate. Let's freaking do it. That's what I wrote down. And like literally, I did have a game plan, but we implemented it, and you've got to start. So like, that's what I'm saying. I did have a business plan, even starting the stream, even though like it literally was just me playing on a PlayStation camera on my freaking bed. I had no clue what I was doing really, but like, I was like, I want to do this. I want to stream. I just want to show my friend at the time. I was like, I really want to show him how easy it could be to do this. So like, I looked up how to, and I just made it happen. Like whenever I first started streaming, I was like Snapchatting everybody. I was like, hey, I'm going live. I'm going live in like 5 minutes. And then like, not only would I put it in the story, I'd like go through and hit every friend on Snapchat, which is like the worst thing to do, by the way. But like, I went through, added it on the story, put every single friend I've got on there, and then I had like the link to my Twitch channel. I was like, yes, yes. So like, I did that. I asked everybody I know, dude, I'm telling you, B, that's how you got to do it, man. And I freaking, anytime I went live, I let everybody know. I tabbed myself up, so I was automatically like 1 viewer. I told my wife, please tab me up. She helped out. She told everybody she knew. We got 50 followers within like that, I don't even know, first few days. We knocked that out because like I told everyone, I was like, dude, please get me this freaking 50 followers. And so we knocked it out. I'm not going to say we like skyrocketed that. I think my max viewers was at the time still like 4 viewers or something like that. So like, it's not that I like blew affiliate out of the water, but we crushed it in 7 days. I think we really had it in 6, but we had to do it. I'm gonna have to go to basketball. I can't wait to finish this on YouTube. Hell yeah, B. Thank you so much for coming by, man, and good luck at basketball. Thank you, brother. So yeah, number 3, which this is something that I don't think any of us really have to worry about in stream. Focus on something you have a passion for. Having a passion for something doesn't necessarily mean that it's your all-time favorite activity or type of business. It does mean that you won't quickly grow tired of running that type of business. The parts that appeal to you, and ideally, you can use some combination of existing knowledge or skills related to parts or all of the operation to your advantage. So, for me, I have a company. It's called Avant Designs, and it's a window treatment company. It's not like, that doesn't seem creative. I'm a musician. You wouldn't think this guy owns a freaking blind company, but I do. I own a company. We do like blinds, shutters, draperies, freaking everything. I'm not really nerding into that section of my work. It's just like a gap that I saw and a need that I saw and a way that I knew I could make money, like stable money that would provide for my family. So I saw this and I just went for it. I knew that I had the opportunity and I was like, let's go for it. But what I do like, and a passion of mine that really helps me like target in on that, is the fact I get to talk to people constantly, and I love selling stuff because like for me, it's like I heard this thing. It was find the guy in the room that is like the biggest douchebag. Find the biggest douchebag in the room. The guy that's like, no matter what you do, he's gonna have something to complain about. Just a jerk. Find a freaking horrible, mean person and get them to like you. That's a challenge. And like, I love challenges. So like, not necessarily saying that that's how like my whole life is, but like with sales, that's what I do. And so whenever I go into like a sales appointment and I know somebody is a dick, like they're just a not cool person and I would never talk to this person outside of my work, I just go into it and I'm like, how can I make this person love me before I leave their house? So like that's one passion that I have. I'm a really big people person. I like to talk to people and I like whenever people are happy. So like if I can turn somebody that's a complete jerk to me into a really nice person that's like, man, I want to hit him up after this and like go get drinks with him or something. Like that's my goal. I want to be able to do that. And so that turns into something that's like really sellable with my company. Like it being able to be like that helps me sell more blinds and shutters and stuff. So it's not that I like the blinds and shutters aspect of my job, but it is that I love the people aspect of it. And that's a big passion of mine. Boom. Focus on your passions. Number 4, understand your target customers and your existing market. It's possible to develop an excellent business concept and deploy it in the wrong area. That's why it's important to understand the area in which you want to start your small business as well as your target customers. An idea that could work very well in a large, dense, populated area simply may not get the amount of foot traffic or the number of customers needed in an area with fewer residents. Now, I will say exactly that sounds like it. Like if you're going to open up like a freaking storefront in a town that has 20 freaking people, probably not a great idea because not everybody's going to want whatever's in your store. So that same storefront might work really well in a really populated place. But if we're talking about Twitch, almost the exact opposite of what they're saying in that example. It says understand your target customers and existing markets. Wasteland, what up? It says to understand your target customers and existing market. And in Twitch form, like in Twitch's world, what I would say is the exact opposite of the example that I just gave you. Knowing that a game, for instance, is completely flooded with people that are in your exact same viewership number count. So if you're streaming and your viewer count is like 3 to 10, and you go on to whatever game you're streaming, click on that, boom, all of a sudden, there's like 10,000 freaking people in that 3 to 10 viewership. It's gonna suck. Like, you're not going to be able to be discovered in that. So if you're trying, I guess, like, honestly, first of all, if you're just trying to get discovered on Twitch, it's very hard to do. But think about how much freaking exponentially harder it is to grow on Twitch in flooded freaking channels. Like, look up the games that you're playing and look how many people are actually playing those games. It's kind of a double-edged sword in the sense that sometimes, like, if I'm playing Call of Duty or something like that, or if I'm playing Fortnite, people will come in sometimes to see me playing Fortnite. Whereas, like, if I'm playing a very obscure game like Final Fantasy 12, I don't really get a lot of new people coming into my stream that are seeing me play Final Fantasy 12, even though I'll be like the top 2 or 3 people that are streaming that game. There's just not a lot of people streaming that game, and there's not a massive community for it. So, like, in that sense, understanding your target customers and existing markets, the existing markets is what we're talking about. And for a lot of us streamers like Bop, B, Wasteland, you're streaming this as well too. But like if we're playing Call of Duty or if we're playing Fortnite, it's a lot less likely that somebody's going to pull us up as opposed to pull somebody up that's on the first page of Twitch in the search, like the first 20 freaking search results, because they're at like thousands of viewers. And that, like, I swear the first little bit, it's until you get a ridiculous amount of people to the point where you don't care if you get discovered on that. That's really the platform that it's at. Wasteland said, got you tabbed, man. Audio from the PC runs through, so I can't hear anything, but I'm here. Woo-woo! Thank you. Here we go. Number 5. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's a huge thing. Here we go. We're going to read this other paragraph. It says, even when a business is on the right track, expect issues and chances for growth and improvement can quickly pop up. Addressing these problems and opportunities is critical for long-term stability and prosperity. As a small business owner, you shouldn't be afraid to seek out alternative business findings in the form of a small business loan or something. Oh my God, we're going way off track here. But either way, do not be afraid to ask for help. Now, so sometimes that might be like financial help, as in like a goal that you could put down here. Boop. In this little corner, you can put a little goal here. Being like, hey man, my microphone sucks ass, but I want a new microphone. You guys can help me out if you guys want to donate to this goal right here. Boom. Get John a new microphone because his sucks ass. Boom. Better the quality of my stream. Or, like, for instance, I mean, like, that type of help from a streamer's perspective, it's never a bad thing to ask, man. Because, like, if you don't put it up there, first of all, people don't know. And I have been in talks with people that are trying to sponsor other streamers, and they're like, hey, what's something that can make this person stream better? They need a new microphone. They're talking on a headset, and it sucks. Like, I can hear them cracking up, and, like, the audio quality is just not there. It's never a bad thing to ask for help because, to be honest with you, and especially with these goals, I know a lot of people frown on them. I think half of the frowning of sub goals, like half the people that are like, I would never do a sub goal. I would never do a followers goal. I'd never do these goals. I think half the reason those people are like that is because, first, they're probably not hitting those same numbers as some of the people that are throwing goals up are. And second, I feel like it very well could be. Like, it could be a very, like, honest. They're just like, that's gross. I would never do this for that. But then I think at the same time, I think there's a lot of, like, vindictiveness in that. And people really are kind of, like, jealous, maybe even. I don't know. But whatever it is, do not be afraid to ask those things. Spectav, how you doing? Don't be afraid to ask those things. Like, having a sub goal, having a donations goal, and especially if it's going towards something that's going to help you. Like, if you had a donation goal for a new microphone. If you've got that and I put that over here, boom. John needs new lighting for his crappy freaking stream room. If I had that goal there, your viewers, your friends, your freaking followers are going to want to help you. So it's okay to ask for that help. Doing really good, brother. Doing really good. You've stumbled in on a freaking one word podcast. And yeah, we're going for it tonight, man. We're going for it. Dank, how you doing, brother? So that's the last of the like 5 freaking how to like starting up it, like tips on starting up a business and how it relates to being a streamer. Piggy Chop, how you doing? So yeah, and also guys, just to let y'all know, anybody that just got in here, we also like I upload this to YouTube later, so if anybody is like, man, I could really use some advice on how to start doing this, boom, go to my YouTube page, look up one word, and it is beginnings. All right, another guy that I look up to, and he talks about a lot of business stuff, is Gary Vaynerchuk. I think is his name, Vaynerchuk, but I call him Gary V. And he's got the what, how, and where. What do you want to do? How are you going to do it? And where is it going to be published? Those are 3 very important questions. Every one of us had to ask ourselves that question before we even started streaming. What do I want to do? I want to be a streamer. I want to I want to be a variety streamer. I want to do just chattings. I want to freaking talk to a lot of people. John Reeves and all his ideas got all his ideas from me. Yeah. You know I did, man. You know I did. So what do I want to do? We all wanted to do freaking streaming, right? Or we all wanted to start up something like that. Apply that same principle to whatever else you want to do in your life. I understand streaming is not like the end goal for a lot of people. So like, what else do you want to do? You can apply the what, how, and where to those things as well too. What do I want to do? I want to be a successful streamer. How are you going to do it? You've got to lay out a plan. And for me, like I talked about earlier, I do write out my goals. February goals 2021. And we've got streaming right here in the middle. So set out your goals. Find out exactly how you're going to succeed in doing those things. How am I going to do it? Well, for me, I wanted to start doing podcast streams this month. Boom. Second day in, we're fucking doing it. I wanted to create custom panels. I'm actually going to get somebody to do that very soon. I had a stream coach actually go over my entire channel and tell me what I needed to fix. So, dank, I just realized this. Okay, it says my name somewhere on this stream, and you still spelled it wrong. You spelled it R-E-E-V-E-S, you goober. I freaking love you, dude. All right, here we go. And then after that, where is it going to be published? Well, all of us obviously have decided we're going to do this on Twitch, right? Streaming, we're going to stream on Twitch. But where else could we do it? So for me, I am publishing this on YouTube as well. It will be on YouTube. I have an Anchor FM set up as well, and it will be published as well on Anchor FM under One Word Podcast. I've got like 6 episodes right now that I need to edit and then publish. So whenever I do get those published, check it out. I'll be posting links, and it will be free for everybody to listen to, if you guys do want to go back and listen to it. And then here we go. Buddha. We're going with a Buddha freaking quote right here. Buddha says there are 2 fatal errors that keep great projects from coming to life. 1, not finishing it. And 2, not starting it. Back to freaking beginnings, and exactly what we talked about at the starting of this podcast. You have to not be afraid to start your project. Mercy, how you doing? Aloha, John. How's the talk going so far? Pretty good. I'm very winded, and I'm just gonna pass out. Yeah, it's pretty good so far. Hopefully, we're gonna be I'll be republishing this on YouTube later. So if you do want to hear what all we're talking about, it will be on there later too, and then also on just some podcast apps. But how are you doing today? But yeah, Buddha freaking said that. The freaking Buddha said 2 fatal errors to keep great projects from coming to life is 1, not finishing it, and 2, not starting it. That's very true. And I think a lot of people will not start something because they're afraid they won't be able to finish it or will not be successful whenever they do start it. But you will never know how successful something could be unless you freaking start doing it. And that is my biggest takeaway from all this. Legitimately start whatever it is you're talking about. I'm good. I made art today as well as 2 arts. I made art today. Well, 2 arts today. One was a doodle. Heck yes. So I'm going to ask you guys this. This is going to be a little bit of a crowd participation moment. What's a project that you're wanting to begin? What's something that you want to start doing? Be it art, you want to start doing art streams, be it freaking a new workout, be it a new freaking anything. What are some things that you guys want to start doing, but you have not done yet? Or maybe you're planning right now. Maybe you're in the planning phase of it. Or maybe you just started doing it. What is something that you guys want to begin doing? Boom. Also, really quick in here as well too. Project. Well, I was planning on streaming this year. Yes. So, do you know what kind of stream you're going to be doing? And also, here we go. Another little quote from a very unlikable person. It says, ideas don't come out fully formed. They only become clearer as you work through them. You just have to get started. Mark freaking Zuckerberg. Turncoat, but also founder of Facebook. I mean, obviously, he's a very successful dude. But yeah, you just have to get started. Coming from the freaking mouth of the man who created pretty much social media as we now know it. Mark Zuckerberg. Could you imagine where we'd be at right now if he didn't be like, hey, let's freaking do this. Let's face this book. Let's make it happen. Right up. But yes, and then let's see here. There's some more notes about tips for improving your diet. Because I think whenever I first wrote these show notes, we were talking about beginning things as far as even dieting and stuff like that. I'm not even going to go into that. Freaking diets. Who needs to talk about dieting and beginning a diet? I mean, it is the starting of the year. So maybe we could go through it. We could talk about it really quick. Tips for improving your diet include only eat when you're hungry. This could mean 3 meals. And 1 snack every day. Freaking boom. Number 2, don't skip meals. Yes, I think intermittent fasting is cool, but only in a certain sense. And I'll expand on that here in 1 second. Wait 15 minutes before you get a second helping of food. Because sometimes maybe you're just damn, that was delicious. I need to go get some more. But then you'll sit there and you'll be like, man, I'm really actually full. Do I actually need that other one? I can only imagine what would happen if there weren't people who encouraged others to pursue their dreams. Can you imagine what could have been if all the people that were man, that's a really good idea. That's probably not going to do anything. And then they just left it on the table. Can you imagine how many cool things? We'd probably have flying cars by now. We would probably have flying cars. In the 70s, they were talking about it, but still don't have flying cars. fuck is wrong with people? We need to get started on flying cars. That's what I'm getting at. I'm sorry. I got a little over it. But yeah, one big thing there, in the like tips to starting a diet, don't skip meals. I have done the intermittent fasting. Here's some stuff that I'm going to say on intermittent fasting, which I know this is a really far rabbit hole that we're going down, and it has nothing to do with this podcast. But I've done it. I think the only way that it will help you cut weight, but if you're trying to work out and stuff like that, it's not going to, like, you're going to deprive your body of a lot of needed energy. So for me in particular, I started doing intermittent fasting. I'd stop eating at 8 o'clock. I wouldn't start eating again until 11 o'clock. So I'd skip breakfast essentially. By the time I went to the gym, I was like drained, dude. I freaking had no energy to complete a workout. Normally I'd run before I went to the gym, and I was just dead. I'd run and I'd get a mile in and I'd be like, it was horrible. I did notice a little bit of weight cut and stuff. I noticed a little extra cuts in the abs area, but it's not worth it in the long run for me at least. And then the second thing I'm going to say about that, whenever I started talking about doing intermittent fasting, I had a lot of friends that would be like, well, actually, I've been intermittent fasting for a few years now. And then I look at them and they got like a gut. And I'm like, okay. So, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like a very effective thing unless you really, really dive into it. I don't think it can be something that you like, well, I actually already do that. Like, it's a legit change that you have to make in your diet. And I don't know, for me at least, I don't feel like it was worth the takeaway. Like, it took all the energy from me. And I really didn't like, the only reason that I work out and would diet in the first place is because I want to be able to be like a very high performance person. I want to be able to be like really energetic and stuff. And for me, intermittent fasting didn't work for that. And the last tip on beginning a diet is drink plenty of fluids. So alcohol and energy drinks and a lot of water. Do it. No. But either way, guys, that is One Word Podcast. Freaking super short, super to the point, very quick podcast. It doesn't have to be that long, guys. We don't have to freaking sit here and talk for 3 hours, but keeping yourself healthy is good because then you feel so much better about anything you do. Exactly. And like, seriously, so I'm going to say this. I have a lot of people, like, I have a lot of anxiety. And for me, like, if I go run, I am like, for the rest of the day after that, I've got like a kind of like a weird euphoric feeling where I'm like not anxious and I can just chill. Like, I could just sit on a couch and I'm good. But like, if I don't go work out, or if I don't go run, or if I don't go do some stuff, I'm like a nervous wreck, dude. I'm like a ball of like built up energy, and like people are like, what is wrong with that guy? I'm like not good. It's not a good thing for me. And like, yeah, just, I mean, like, being healthy is good, but like for me, being physically active is a really good thing too. And like, anytime somebody's really stressed out, or anytime somebody is like very anxious or depressed even, I always suggest go for a run. But a lot of people don't take me up on that advice, but I feel like it's a very good thing. Same if I'm doing anything anxiety builds, right? Yeah, like literally I have such bad panic attacks. Like I'll have them all the freaking time. But if I can just get out and like go for a run beforehand, it helps so much. And I know I was talking about music before. Like a lot of people really might be like, oh, dude, he's really good at talking to people. He's really good at talking to people and all this stuff. But like, we played like 300 plus shows in 1 year. I've got a plaque here somewhere, but it's for my first band, and it was a Nashville Metal Music Awards we won for most played gigs, and we played over 300 shows in 1 year. Every single one of those shows I had a panic attack beforehand. I threw up before every single concert that we played. Everyone. For me, baking helps with a bit. And like you said before, yeah, running is good too. And I know a lot of people are like, man, running sucks on my knees and stuff. But there's like other things you can do. Like if you don't like running, go hit a punching bag. If you don't want to hit a punching bag, go get on a bike. If you don't want to bike, go swim. If you don't want to swim, freaking something. Jumping jacks. Go dancing. Freaking any of that stuff. Just like a full body sweat. I'm a very big fan of like, I think that if you get your body moving, like for me, anxiety I think is like an energy. And if you get energy out, I think you don't like, you know what I mean? I feel like that really helps me a lot for just my anxiety, and I'm riddled with it. So please don't let my just really happy demeanor fool you guys into thinking that I'm not riddled with anxiety, because I've got it, dude. Freaking Vintage! How you doing? Yes. Exactly. There's so many alternatives. That's so true. And I don't know. But for that's advice. And I can't go out and make people do things, but seriously, if my life was a book and somebody read the pre me starting to run phase, they'd be like, this dude's not going to live for very much longer. This guy is freaking throwing up almost every single night, having constant panic attacks, can't sleep and stuff, all these things. And then as soon as I started running again and getting physically more active and stuff, as soon as that happened, my panic attacks just cutting in half, man. It's awesome. So I will definitely vouch for it. Vintage, how you freaking doing? We're just finishing up our podcast here. We did a one-word podcast on beginnings, and we began, and we freaking finished. And so I'm probably going to be uploading this to YouTube. Not probably. I will be uploading this to YouTube within the next couple of days. I normally try to upload them on Thursday. I've been really bad about our podcast, but it's just something that I felt like at the time. I was trying to interview a lot of different people, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this podcast. But I want it to be a more helpful experience for anybody that's in here. So hopefully anybody that stayed through the whole thing, say some endings are new beginnings. Yeah, some endings are new beginnings. Exactly. You're good, Vintage. We're going to post this on YouTube. And if, Vintage, maybe sometime too, if you're down with getting on here and doing a podcast with me, I would love to have you on here. I do these normally around the same time. I know your work schedule is kind of crazy. But if you would like to do a podcast with me on here, let's freaking do it, man. We could do it over marketing. We could do it over any of that stuff. I love your podcast, dude. Thank you. The freaking yes. But yeah, guys. Well, that is it, man. Does anybody know somebody that is streaming at the time that we could go smash in the face with a freaking raid? Does anybody have some suggestions? Let's see here. I'm going to go to my channel here. Who all streams? I'm so down.